am the Overlord, and this is a very spooky edition of Crack-a-Pack. Yes, it's Trick or Treat, the second week, and we have more packs to crack. So let's go ahead and mix up the... Hey! Zombies! What are you doing here, zombies? Get out of here! Where'd all these zombies come from? They're getting their flesh everywhere. Ew, it's dripping. Ugh. Alright, so now that the zombies are taken care of, we have our Halloween pumpkin candy, except instead of candy for our trick or treats, we are using assorted booster packs. Some of them could contain tricks of junk rares that we don't want, but other ones could contain delicious treats. So I'm going to go ahead and close my eyes at random and mix them up for you and choose 3 at random. Let's go ahead and choose this one right here. Then we will mix it up some more and choose this one. And then I'm going to think of something really, really spooky in my head. Just getting all spooky as I choose the third one. Spooky pack. This one, yes, this one. Alright, so what we have here is the Battle for Zendikar, the Chateaus over Innistrad, and the Khans of Tarkir. Excellent. Let's go in the order of release, starting with the Khans of Tarkir, also known as the Fetchlands of Tarkir. We definitely want those rare cycle of lands. Those are always super good. There's a couple of cool planeswalkers, and of course the Khans at Mythic. Some of them have really good EDH pool. So let's see what we got. The first uncommon is the Timely Hordemate. It has a raid trigger, which means if you've attacked with at least a creature this turn, then when it enters the battlefield, something happens. In this case, when it enters the battlefield, if you attacked with a creature this turn, return target creature card with converted mana cost 2 or less from your graveyard to the battlefield. In a morph set, this isn't super great and limited. I don't think I really ever picked it. In my warrior tribal deck, my black-white warriors that I made that was pretty sweet, I still didn't have a whole lot of use for it. By the time you got to turn 4, I wanted to play stuff that really made a difference, the brutal horde chiefs and stuff like that could really capitalize on my board state. Bringing back some of my dudes with converted mana cost 2 or less wasn't as impactful. But still, it was decent. I might have had 1 in there the whole time. The Briber's Purse. A spell that could cost any amount of mana. Ooh. It comes into play with X gem counters on it, and you pay 1 and tap it to remove a gem counter from Briber's Purse, and target creature can't attack or block this turn. This is good to buy you some time, good on in the slow format. People are trying to build up to their big bombs. There's not a lot of combo. Board states are kind of narrow. It's hard to get all 3 colors for the good stuff. So this could hold off a very scary creature. Next we have Tomb of the Spirit Dragon. This is not one of those fetch lands that we oh so want, but it's pretty neat in and of itself. You tap to add 1 colorless to your mana pool, or you pay 2 and tap it, and you gain 1 life for each colorless creature you control. And because Khans of Tarkir had the morph mechanic, then your morph creatures were colorless, so you could get some extra life if you had a bunch of morph dudes on the battlefield. Yeah, advertisement. Have a forest. That's pretty good for a forest, nice and lush, and you see the buildings in the background. Like it doesn't look like just trees, and I can appreciate that. But will we appreciate this rare? Will it be a trick, or will it be an oh so delicious treat to start us off? Let's find out. Crater Claws. X and red. It deals X damage to target creature or player, or it does 2 plus X if you control a creature with power 4 or greater. So it's a slightly better Blaze, I think it is, where it's X and red and deal X damage. you know, unlimited is pretty good. You can finish someone off. It's good removal. As far as constructed, like, I don't get very excited by it. It's kind of a generic effect. And it's cool that it has the teamer watermark, but yeah, I would say this pack was a little bit of a trick. It had those delicious fetch lands, and we did not find one of those. But that's alright, because now we are moving to battle for Zendikar. Of course, the Ulamog Ceaseless Hunger is very nice. We have a couple of planeswalkers, including a Kiora and a Gideon. And of course, we have the super magical, super awesome Expedition lands, where we might get our fetch. No, we won't. We have Rot Shambler. Whenever another creature you control dies, put a +1/+1 counter on it. I don't think I've ever used it or seen it used very well in draft. The idea behind it is you're in green and you have lots of little Eldrazi Scion tokens that you can sacrifice in order to gain colorless mana to ramp up to your bigger stuff. But with this and this out, like, oh, that's great. I'll just sacrifice a couple of things, put a couple of 1/1 counters on it. But I've never really seen it work very well, especially because green was very underpowered, so no one really wanted to take it in the Battle for Zendikar Limited. Forerunner of the Slaughter. Oh yes, this guy's pretty neat. If you were in black-red, you would definitely want one of these. Its ability gives another target colorless creature haste until end of turn for 1 mana, including itself. So if you play it on turn 2, it's a 3/2. That's pretty good value. And if you play it on turn 3, you can give it haste. So it's a 3/2 on turn 3 with haste. So that's not too shabby. And of course, the Bane of Balagad. This is a 7-drop that whenever it attacks, defending player exiles 2 permanents he or she controls and is a 7/5. I got this out in limited a couple of times. One time, I even got to attack with it and just saying, I declare attacks with my Bane of Balagad, please sacrifice 2 permanents. That's just so satisfying. It just wrecks someone. It destroys their fun. They get annihilated, but what can you do? It's a 7-drop. Oh, sweet. Dragon Master Outcast, Dragon Token, 5/5 flying. That's always nice there. And ooh, yes, more of the ever so popular full art lands. I like the swamp. I like how it has like levels to it. Like it's not just a flat piece of land. You can see like the weird plant rock things and the stone arches. That is something that I appreciate about that. And will we appreciate this rare? Is it another trick, or is this a nice treat? Let's find out. We have the Brood Butcher. It's nice and limited. I like that. I like that part. So it's a 3/3 for 5. When it enters the battlefield, put a colorless 1/1 Eldrazi Scion creature token onto the battlefield that has sacrifice this creature, add 1 colorless mana to your mana pool, and you can pay a black and a green and sacrifice a creature to give target creature -2/-2 till end of turn. Unfortunately, this pack, it promised us a lot of treats, but was once again a trick. Not the worst card we could look at, but I really have no use for it whatsoever, no plans. I don't think it's worth anything, so it's disappointing. It's not complete garbage. It definitely has some use, but I don't have a use for it. Neither does Soren. He's like, I want some treats. Yes, Soren, we do want treats. Maybe Avacyn the Purifier, maybe a Nahiri Harbinger, some good spooky treats. Alright, so no extras in that pack either, but that's okay, because we have Nahiri's Machinations. I heard this was pretty good and limited. 1 and a white, it's an enchantment. At the beginning of combat on your turn, target creature you control gains indestructible until end of turn. And you can pay 1 and a red, and it deals 1 damage to target blocking creature. So this is very good, like, I'm aggro, let me hit your face, and if you don't, then I'll burn your stuff. Bound by Moon Silver. It's an enchantment. Enchanted creature can't attack, block, or transform. And you can sacrifice another permanent to attach Bound by Moon Silver to target creature. Activate this ability only at a time that you could cast a sorcery ability and only once each turn. But that's still pretty great. Gives you a sack outlet, tap something down, and Shadows Limited. This was nuts. I loved playing this thing. It made so many people so miserable. It was wonderful. And Skeleton Key. Equipped creature has Skulk, which means it can't be blocked by creatures with greater power. And whenever equipped creature deals combat damage to a player, you may draw a card. If you do, discard a card. So it lets the creature loot for you when it deals damage. That's pretty solid. I've seen it used against me in very aggro decks, like very well. And I've seen it used in other decks and it not work so well. So I think it really depends on your archetype. If you have a strong aggro graveyard synergy, then that's kind of where you want it. We have a spirit token, okay. Nothing to write home about there. A checklist card. Then I like this one in Limited a lot too. The Abyssinian Missionaries. At the beginning of your end step, if it is equipped, you transform it. And when this creature transforms into Lunarch Inquisitors, you may exile another target creature until it leaves the battlefield. You get a 4/4, and you get to remove their creature. Like all for 4 mana. That's great. Limited bomb, tribal cleric deck, yes please. And this selection of packs have so far been tricks. But will this be the treat to save us all? Or will this whole episode be nothing but tricks? Spooky, scary tricks. Let's find out. Hey! Now this is a treat. Declaration in Stone. It's 1 and a white. It is a sorcery. Exile target creature and all other creatures its controller controls with the same name as that creature. That player investigates for each non-token creature exiled in this way. That's pretty amazing. It's 2 mana and white, exiles anything. If they have multiple copies, you can exile those. It totally hoses token synergies, like get a bunch of flying 1/1 spirit tokens or get a bunch of soldiers. This is great. This is certainly a treat to end the episode. So let's get our MVPs. And there we have it. Thank you for joining me on week 2 of Spooky Halloween Trick or Treat with Crack-a-Pack with the one, the only Overlord. You know him. You love him. And you will subscribe and like the video or dislike the video if you dare to defy me. And in that case, I'll just leave it to your imagination what terrible things could come your way. Yes. So that's about all I have for this episode. Join me next week, same time, same place for part 3, cracking 3 more packs out of the trick-or-treat bucket. And that's all I have for this episode, so go now, my minions! Be free!